Hi everyone, welcome back to True Reflections. I hope everyone had a great week and is having a good weekend. And so let's get into it. A friend of mine sent me a meme. I hope I'm pronouncing it right. And this meme, she basically asked me to share my perspective on it, and I told her that I would. And this is me honoring my word because I try to be a woman of my word. Honestly, I did not know how to approach it because I am a person, I try to be fair. I may not be perfect at it, but I try to give unbiased perspectives or opinions on anything that is brought to me, or anything that comes across my mind, or anything that I may have seen. And honestly, like I said before, I wasn't certain how to approach it because I didn't want to seem biased. So what I did, I sent it to a few people to get their perspective, because sometimes you have to get another person's point of view and compare it with yours so that you can reflect and think logically before forming an opinion or before commenting on a matter. So that's what I did. And you had different answers. You had some that agreed and some that didn't, that disagreed. Honestly, I sent it to males because this was pertaining to men, strictly men. The subject matter is, well, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to read it straight out how it is presented in this meme so that we can have a clear understanding of what is being said today. So the general message of this segment is why real men avoid single mothers. Why real men avoid single mothers. And like I said before, I sent it to a few guys, some that agreed and some that disagreed. Which is natural because, people will look at things differently based on their experiences. So there is no real answers to this. Now, on this meme, there are 15 reasons. And what I'm going to try to do, I'm going to try to go reason by reason and share my perspective, kind of like, giving a better understanding as to why the person who decided to make this meme probably felt that way and maybe not really understanding the reason or the concept behind the things that he has listed. And first of all, this meme, it doesn't speak for every man out there. It doesn't speak for every guy. It doesn't speak for every person that have seen it. The same way that my perspectives on it doesn't speak for every single mother. It doesn't speak for every woman out there, and I do not speak for every single mother out there. I can only speak for me, from my personal experiences and from my own self-reflection. So with that being said, this is agree to disagree. I'm not asking anyone to agree with me. I'm just trying to give clarity, again, from my personal experience. And I'm sure that, many women out there, if not all, again, I do not speak for everyone, but I'm sure that there will be a few men and women that can probably agree to this. Okay, and there are men and women that can disagree with it. It all depends. So, with that being said, my first issue with this is already in the way the caption is written. Why real men, and this is in parentheses, real men avoid single mothers. Can anyone guess what my issue is with the caption of this? And this is before I go through the list one by one. Can any of you think to yourselves, well, what could possibly be wrong with the caption? I'll tell you what's wrong, at least for me. The word real. Yes. The word real is an issue for me. Real men. Who is the person that was designated to decide what is real and what is not? Who was the person that was designated to know or to apply the word real to people, as in real men and real women? Honestly, when I'm on social media and I see posts like this, and I see things like real men do this and real men do that, real women do this and real women do that, it's annoyingly comical to me. Because who are you to tell me if I'm not real or not? Who are we to tell another person who is not willing to do certain things that they're not real? So in order for me to be real, I would have to put up with the BS that you present to me. And if I refuse to put up with it or entertain you in the BS that you present to me, then that automatically makes me unreal. It makes me fake. I'm not a real woman. And you're not a real man because, you have standards. You have your limits. You have things that you are willing to do and things you are not willing to do. Does that make you any less real from the person that is willing to do it? See, and again, that is like my first issue, because at the end of the day, for me, I look at it, the level of maturity. What a person is willing to do or willing to accept is all based on a level of maturity. It is all based on the level of the state of mind of the individual. It doesn't make them any less real than anyone else. So that right there was my first thing in regards to this when I saw this. Because, like I said before, I hate the real men and real women posts. Like, come on, really? Because my definition of real and your definition of real is going to be different. It varies from person to person. So who are we to tell another person that they're real and they're not? You understand what I'm saying? So for me, that was number one. But this is more than likely going to be a 2-part segment because the list is pretty long. And unfortunately, I do have the tendency to just run on for days. I have no issues saying that I can talk, okay? I can chew a person head off, especially if the conversation is juicy, if the topic is like nice. I will have the world to say, okay? I will be the first person to admit it, okay? So bear with me. So seeing that this is like there's 15 reasons as to why, again, real men avoid single mothers, I figured this can be a 2-part series. Okay, so let's get into it. So the number one reason is never available. This to me is funny, okay? Gentlemen, if you are dating a single mother and she is never available, it simply means, well, it could be one of two things. Okay, but the number one reason, really, for her never being available is she is simply not interested. Period. The number one reason why a single mother is never available is that she is simply not interested. As a single mother myself, okay, speaking from my own personal experience, because I use my kids a lot. I know it's wrong, okay? I know it's wrong. I know you guys are saying, well, if you're not interested in this guy, well, why don't you just tell him that you're not interested? Well, first of all, some people just do not get the picture, okay? Some people, you can buy them a clue. You can buy a clue and gift it to them and say, here. You can be as blunt as you want to be to some men about you not being interested. And they're going to see it as a challenge. Okay? They are going to see it as a challenge, as if you're playing hard to get or whatever the case is. But some men out there do not understand the concept of a female not being interested in them. So sometimes when dating single mothers, we will use our kids as excuses not to do something. Okay? There's no getting around it. When a person really wants to do something, they find a way to make it happen. The other reason as to why she may not be available is, she's still trying to figure you out. She's still trying to see where you are, what are your intentions, okay? And once she has figured that out and you have proven yourself worthy of her time, and I know you guys may probably have an issue with me using the words worthy, but sometimes you have to prove to people that they are worth your time. Everybody's time is valuable. Everybody's time is precious. Everybody's time is not to be wasted. So before you can open yourself up, and this goes for both men and women, before you can open yourself up and allowing that person to come into your life where you rearrange your life or rearrange certain aspects of your life to make time for this person would have to prove to you that they will not waste your time. Again, male and females alike, every single person under the sound of my voice, everybody's time is precious and is not to be wasted. So when you're dealing with a single mother, and she's still trying to figure you out, she may like you a little bit, but she's still keeping you at arm's length, trying to figure you out, trying to figure where you are, what your intentions are with her, especially in regards to her kids. It's going to take some time before she opens herself up to be available to you. Now, when you have proven yourself, or when she is confident in your intentions to her and to her kids, she will then start to make the time. She will then start to rearrange certain things in her life to make the time for you. But the number one reason for her never being available is that she simply doesn't like you. And what is a short telltale sign that she is not really into you? If you have made several offers, if you have offered to pay for a babysitter, she found an excuse. If you have offered to take the kids with you on a date, and she found an excuse. For every solution that you may have presented as an attempt to spend a little time with her, and she shuts it down with an excuse, she is not into you. Leave it alone and move on. Period. The second reason on this is that you are not a priority. Men, gentlemen, come on. This shouldn't even be an issue. Okay? Because listen, for anybody that has kids, you should understand your position in that person's life. Listen, I'm not saying that she shouldn't make you a priority, but single mothers have 1,000,001 things on their list that they gotta do, that we have to do, because I'm also a single mother. There are so many things on our list. And especially if you have been single for a long period of time, and you are so accustomed to handling and dealing with situations on your own, dating automatically takes a back burner. And even if whilst we're dating, it takes a while before we can make the man that we are dating a priority on our list. And you guys, you men, should be able to understand, especially again, if she is a single female that has been through so much in her life, if she has in her lifetime been let down by so many people, it's a matter of you gaining her trust. which also doubles back to her making time for you. Because if she's making time for you, then it automatically means that you have become a priority to her. It's like number one and number two are like one of the same as far as, never being available. Because if someone is a priority to you in your life, you make time for them. Even though they may not be at the top of your to-do list or the things that you have to do throughout the day, but you are on that list. But in order for you to be on a singles mother list of priorities, you would have to make her comfortable in your presence. And by presence, I don't mean like being there physically, but just having a spot in her life. You would have to convince her to be comfortable with having you present in her life. Because once she is comfortable with that, she is certain of your intentions, that you don't have any mischievous and ill intent towards her and disrupting her peaceful life. If she is confident that you have come to make her life better, then she is going to prioritize you and ultimately making time for you. You will be included in whatever she has going on. So number one and number two are kind of like one of the same, if it makes sense. Number three, say single mothers thinks the world revolves around her and her only. This right here, number three, is total and complete BS. Because that is not a single mother thing. That is a human thing. Whether you are single with no kids, whether you are single with kids, whether you are a male or whether you are female, it has nothing to do with single mothers. Okay? Because I know a few people that are neither married or has children that seems to think the world revolves around them. So for this person to put this on the list of reasons why real men is in parentheses, why real men avoid single mothers, is because single mothers seems to think the world revolves around them. It's total and complete BS. Okay? It should not be isolated to single mothers by themselves, because you have men out there that are neither married or have kids that are not in relationships. You have men that are total and complete jerks, idiots, assholes, fuckboys, who seems to think the world revolves around them. So please don't make that to be a single mother's thing. It's an individual thing. It's an individual thing, because prior to a person having kids, if they thought like the world revolved around them, more than likely that mentality is going to carry through. But the beauty about having kids is that it humbles you. Because if you are a person, or if you used to be a person that thought that the world revolves around you and you alone, the very second that you become pregnant, or for some it happens later on after the delivery of the baby, the minute you become a parent, your mentality changes. The world no longer revolves around you and you alone. Your children becomes your world, in a sense. So that right there, number 3 is like, oh my God, that was total and complete BS. Number 4 is single mothers. Single mothers are emotionally unavailable. Number 4, emotionally unavailable. See, again, this is not secluded to single mothers only. This is inclusive of anyone that has ever had a bad experience in relationships. Like, the reasons of this, to me, I find it to be absurd. And again, I'm not trying to be biased, and I'm not trying to defend single mothers, okay? I don't speak for every single mother. I don't speak for every single female. I do not speak for everyone. But it has to make sense. And to me, it's like these reasons for me, they simply do not make sense. People that are emotionally unavailable are not just single parents. You know what I mean? They are not just single parents. It's everyone that has experienced some type of traumatic breakup in their lifetime. It's for anyone that has been in a relationship, especially if you have ever been in a relationship with a narcissistic person, where you open yourself up completely and you give yourself mind, body, and soul wholeheartedly to another person, and then to have that love to be taken for granted, misused, and abused. It takes a toll on you. It takes a toll on you. And again, before a single mother, because now she not only have herself to protect, and the thing is, he also, this is both for single parents, because you have single fathers out there also. When you are a single parent and you are in the dating world, you cannot be so callous as to open yourself up to any and everybody, because now you're not only looking for a partner for you, but you are also looking for a potential parent. And even if it doesn't become to be a parent, but a role model for your kids. Because the next person that you let into your life as a single parent, again, this is not just about single mothers, single parents in general. When you open yourself up to another person, you are also opening up your children to the other person as well. So when your feelings has been misused and abused, when your heart has been trampled on, the little bit of feelings that you have left is automatically directed towards your kids. And for any other person that is trying to come into your life, again, have to make you so comfortable in believing and trusting in them in order for you to share even though it may not be completely equal, but the other person coming into your life, into a single parent's life, have to be a dynamic person in every sense of the word in order for that single parent to open themselves up to you. Because how do you want to be automatically emotionally available to someone that you are not completely certain that you can trust with your heart? Because to be emotionally available to another person means that you have to make yourself completely vulnerable to that person. And in order for you to be completely vulnerable to that person, you have to be able to trust that person beyond a shadow of doubt. And for a broken person, when I say broken, I know many of you are going to say, well, if they're broken, they shouldn't be looking to be in a relationship. They should take time to heal. And I agree. Broken people don't belong in relationships. Broken people must first go through the process of the hurting and then the healing before entertaining the idea of being in another relationship. But listen, the reality of it is, sometimes you can be in a place in your life where you think you are completely healed. And then you have a person. And again, this is not just about single mothers, as this meme is trying to indicate. This is generally a human being thing. When you have been emotionally hurt and emotionally damaged, and you think you have healed, you have come to a point in your life where you think you're healed. You have convinced yourself that you are healed. And sometimes, some people heal faster than others, and some people not so much. It takes a while. But eventually you come to a time in your life, in your healing process, where you feel that you are completely healed. You have convinced yourself that you are completely healed until another person's tried to enter it. So even in all of your healing, part of you becomes frightful. And with reason. You become frightful because now you're thinking, am I ready to let another person in? Am I ready to give myself to this person again? Am I ready to be emotionally vulnerable to this person again? Because the last time I was hurt. And mind you, every single person that you meet or that you decide to be in a relationship with deserves a fair and even break. Start off with a clean slate. But that doesn't erase the fears. It doesn't stop you from being extra cautious. So, in order to become emotionally available to anyone, male and female alike, it takes a certain degree of trust. And with that trust comes vulnerability. But it is the other person's responsibility, is the other person's job to reassure you that I'm not here to play with your heart. I'm not here to play with your emotions. It is the other person's job, it is the other person's responsibility to reassure you that when you become emotionally available to them, when you open yourself up to them and you place your trust and your heart in their hands, that they are not going to do you like the person before them did. Because again, now you have more at stake. Single parents have a lot more at stake because they not only have to think about their emotional being, they have to think about their children's emotional being as well. They not only have to think about their mental state of mind and how it's going to affect them, they also have to consider, single parents have to consider the state of mind and the mental health of their children and how it's going to affect not only their life, but the lives of their children if the relationship doesn't work out. Single parents have a lot more at stake than the average single person out there. Okay, so to be emotionally unavailable, there is some truth to it, but it is understandable, but it's not exclusive to single parents. It is inclusive to every single being. The number 5 reason is the ex or the baby daddy is always there. And listen, this is funny, right? This is funny because there is levels of truth to this. Like, there is a whole lot of truth to this, like, really. But the thing is, you have to determine the nature of the relationship of the two exes. Because and it's funny because I know females that refuse to date men with kids for the very same reason. So again, just to single out women with children for this reason is like total and complete utter BS. Because women across the globe will refuse to date a single father simply because. Simply because. But you have to understand the nature. You have to understand the nature of the relationship between these two parents. And by deciding the nature of the relationship between these two parents is that you have to determine beyond shadow of doubt that the relationship that these two people have are strictly a co-parenting relationship, or is it an intimate relationship? If it's an intimate relationship, I say hell no. Don't do it. Don't waste your time, because that's just drama waiting to happen. Because realistically, a child needs both parents in their life. Whether they are together or not, realistically, children needs both parents to play an active role in their lives. But you have men and women alike who seems to think, they have it so twisted, who seems to think in order for them to play an active role in a child's life, they still have to get in between their partner, their ex's legs. To me, that is total and complete bullshit, because our relationship didn't work out for a reason. It ended for a reason. As a single parent myself, I do not have to sell myself to you in order for you to take care of your child. Because you and I are no longer together. You and I have nothing else in common. The only thing in common that you and I have is our child. And if you are going to give me an ultimatum or make me feel as though the only way that you are going to take care of our child that we made together is that if at any given time when you feel the urge, I need to open my legs up to you, otherwise you're not gonna be there, you're not gonna provide, I say to hell with you. I'm sorry. I am so sorry. And men, and for those of you out there that have your exes or the mother of your kids, and if you're doing that mess, you need to stop it now. You need to stop it. Because the mother of your child should not have to prostitute herself to you as a means for you to take care of your responsibility after the relationship has ended. The relationship ended for a reason. You decided that you no longer wanted to be with me for a reason. So if you and I are no longer in a romantic relationship, the only relationship that you and I need to have is a co-parenting relationship. That's it. That's it. And you ladies out there, if you are doing that mess with the father of your kids, you need to stop, because that is not going to bring him back. That is not going to bring him back. You do not have to prostitute yourself to the father of your kids in order for him to take care of his responsibilities. If the relationship have ended, the only thing that you and that man have in common, the only thing that you and that woman have in common is the child that you two share. You guys should not be sharing anything else. Okay? There should be no intimate relations, no intimate interactions between both parents if you are no longer in a relationship. Because ladies, if you offer it to him, he is going to take it. Doesn't mean that he wants you. He broke up with you for a reason. You continuously throwing yourself at him, you continuously trying to seduce him, is not going to change his mind about getting back into a relationship with you. You know, and some of you are probably thinking like, well, if I don't sleep with him, then he's not gonna pay the child support. If I don't sleep with him, then he's not gonna come and pick up the kids when I need him to pick up the kids. If I don't sleep with him, he's not going to do this and he's not going to do that. I get it. I understand. But you must also have some pride and dignity for yourself. Have some pride and self-respect for yourself. If he doesn't want to take care of his responsibility without you having to break him off a piece of something whenever the urge hit him, then to hell with him. Pull up your big girl panties and do what you have to do and take care of your kids with or without his help. Stop prostituting each other and using the child as an excuse to say, oh, the only reason why I'm sleeping with her, is for the kids. The only reason why I'm sleeping with him is, I need him to help with the rent or to help with the school fee or whatever. No, that is fuckboy actions. That is a jackass action. Excuse the French. But good men, stand-up men that has morals, principles, values, do not do that. Mature men, because I just use good men or whatever. It's almost like saying real men. But mature men that has real morals and real values, that has been brought up and taught right by their parents, do not do that. Because if he's doing that to you, that means he have absolutely, positively no respect for you. Okay? And gentlemen, if your ex or the mother of your kids is constantly, throwing herself at you, it simply means one thing. She's not over you. And a lot of times, you men know that. You guys know that the mother of your kids are not completely over you or the breakup. And so you use that to your advantage to sleep with her, to cause even more hurt and more damage and even more confusion in her life by sleeping with her. It's like you're holding it as leverage over her head. If she wants you to take care of your responsibility, then she's going to give you a piece of leg. She's going to tear her legs open and give you a piece of vajayjay. That is wrong. That is wrong and that is cruel. So we need to establish the boundaries. It's strictly a co-parenting relationship. Okay? And for you men out there that are dating single mothers, because that is a real concern. And for you women out there that are dating single fathers, if there are signs that are indicating to you that there is more than a co-parenting relationship going on between these two people, then you need to leave those people alone. Okay? Because clearly they're not done with each other. Because if they were done with each other, they wouldn't be messing with each other and using the child as an excuse. So if you see that there is any indication, because me as a single mother, I don't have no issues dating a single father. I don't. But if I'm dating a single father and I suspect, because the suspicion is going to come first. And with suspicion, there's usually proof behind it. And if my intuition, if deep down in my gut, something is telling me that the guy that I'm dating is still messing with the mother of his kids, then I'ma just leave him alone to be with the mother of his kids. Okay? So that is totally and completely understandable. But honestly, it goes both ways. Really and truly, it goes both ways. And the last one for the evening would be the number 6 reason, which is the kids are working against you. Listen, this right here is tricky. It's very tricky. Because there's a saying that children and dogs or your pets can pick up on bad vibrations quicker than adults do. And this is crucial because for all of you single folks out there that is courting a single parent, be it a male or female, if you are trying to be in a relationship with a single parent, in order to win that parent over, you have to win the child over. Because we have to be certain. We have to be certain of so many things. First of all, we have to be careful of, pedophiles out there. That's number one. That is number one. We have to be careful of pedophiles out there. And children, again, can pick up on the bad vibes or the ill intent of a person. And if the child doesn't like you, it's a reason why. There's always a reason why. But sometimes we can be so blinded by our infatuation for another person that we turned a deaf ear and a blind eye to our children because we like this person so much. But you cannot like a person more than you like your own flesh and blood. You cannot love your spouse more than you love your own kids. People are great pretenders. Okay? If a child doesn't like you, there's always a reason why. Sometimes, very rare, children will not give an outsider an opportunity because they are still holding on to hope that their parents will eventually get back together and they can be one big happy family, so they can become rebellious. But even in that state, you have to watch and pay very close attention to the interaction between the person you want to date and your children. And if you pay close enough attention, you can tell when it's real and when it's an act. If you pay close enough attention, it's hard to pinpoint exactly what it is. But if you know your kids, and if you have been dating this person for a while, and the minute you bring them around your kids, all of a sudden it's like you have a nagging suspicion that the interaction between your children and this person isn't quite right, even though that you may be head over heels in infatuation with this person. But even when you have these strong feelings for these people, you still have a feeling somewhere in the back of your mind, to the pit of your stomach, that something isn't quite right with this person. Especially if your child or your kids are usually kids that are usually polite and friendly and happy and bubbly around everybody, even people they meet on the streets. But when they get around your mate, when they get around you and this person that you're dating or the person that you are married to, and you notice like and you notice that your children or your child's personality changes, you have to start paying attention to it. You have to start paying attention to it. I know sometimes children can be jealous for their parents, because sometimes they don't want to share. But as the outsider coming in, if I notice that is the child's behavior or interaction with me, then my attention is automatically going to shift. My attention is going to shift towards the child more so than the person that I'm trying to date. Because now I have to get that child to trust me. I now have to get that child to become my friend and to be comfortable with me. Because if I can win that child over, that child parent is close behind. Is close, because single parents, we pay attention to those type of things, the interactions, the way that you talk, the way that you play and deal and do things. We pay attention to these things. Even though we're not saying anything, we pay attention. So if you are dating a single parent, not just single mothers, if you are dating a single parent and you notice or you feel as though that child is working or those children is working against you, your whole attention span have to shift from the parent onto that child. And it has to be genuine, because when you're being fake, children can pick up on it. Trust me. You have to focus your efforts and your energy onto that child and onto those children, because now you have to win them over. You have to gain their trust, because 90% of the time, children can be the determining factor of whether a relationship evolve into something more or if it ends. So we're just going to end here today on this subject of why men avoid single mothers. And we will continue this topic at another time. So we stop at number 6 today. Shoots, this may have to be a 3-part segment. This may have to be a 3-part segment because it can take a while. But these are some things that we have to consider. These are some things that we have to think about. And again, this is not just about single mothers. Even though the focus here was why real men avoid single mothers, but it's not just about single mothers. It's not inclusive of single mothers, because you have single fathers out there as well. And for everything that is on the list, that is on this list that is directed towards single mothers, can very well be directed towards single fathers as well. Because these are some very, very real concerns that women have in regards to dating men with kids also. Okay, so we're going to stop at number 6 and we're going to pick up the remainder of the list at another time. I'm so sorry for running on and rambling on the way that I did, but I just felt like, you know, I didn't want to just to give like a vague and empty explanation. I wanted to explain as in depthly as I possibly can so that we can have a